guests. First, His Excellency, Mr. Peter MacArthur, the Ambassador of Canada to Indonesia. Professor Shahbaz Khan, Director of UNESCO Office, Jakarta. Bapak Oksatra Sinaga, Indonesian Broadcasting Commissioner. Professor Ami Emilia, the Head of Strategic Development and Language Diplomacy of the Language Center. Bapak Redawan Arti Winata, the initiator of Gerakan Bijak Bersosmed Movement. Bapak Am Rohanuddin, the President Director of Radio Republik Indonesia. Bapak Hasto Kunchoro, the member of NRI Supervisory Board. Bapak Anhar Ahmad, the Director of NRI World Service Voice of Indonesia. And we would like to also address the NRI Board of Arrangements. And also the invited guests who have come to here. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome. It's been a great honor to present the 21st Diplomatic Forum, which is organized by NRI World Service Voice of Indonesia. By the way, our Diplomatic Forum today is live broadcast on the online streaming on the english.nriworldservice.com and also our YouTube channel, VOI Indonesia. And ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to discuss a topic on literacy in a digital world, challenges and opportunities. But before we start our diplomatic forum today, we would like to invite Bapak M. Rohanuddin, the President Director of NRI, to deliver his remarks. The floor is yours.
Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mohon maaf, saya akan bicara dalam bahasa Indonesia. Excuse me, I'd like to speak in Indonesia. Yang terhormat, yang mulia, Bapak Peter MacArthur, Duta Besar Kanada untuk Indonesia. Welcome to RI. Profesor Shahbaz Khan, Direktur UNICEF, Jakarta Office. UNESCO, mohon maaf ya. Profesor Shahbaz Khan, Direktur UNESCO. Thank you. Welcome to Radio Republik Indonesia, our Voice of Indonesia. Kemudian Bapak Oksatra Sinaga dari Komisi Penyiaran Indonesia. Selamat datang Pak. Ini ada Profesor Ami Emilia. Selamat pagi Bu, Kepala Pusat Pengembangan Strategi dan Diplomasi Kebahasaan BPPB. Kemudian Bapak Redawan Arti Winata, inisiator Gerakan Bijak Bermedsos. Pak Hasto Kunchoro, Dewan Pengawas Radio Republik Indonesia. Pak Hasto, terima kasih. Dan Kepala Siaran Menteri serta teman-teman sekalian. Voice of Indonesia itu adalah siaran luar negeri Radio Republik Indonesia. Itu memiliki sikap keberpihakan terhadap diplomasi negara. Jadi tugas daripada Voice of Indonesia itu menjadi penting untuk bangsa-bangsa di dunia.
And the World Service Voice of Indonesia has a special attitude that has taken its sides for Indonesia and it has given a very good service for our country.
Voice of Indonesia siaran dengan 9 bahasa, yang terakhir adalah bahasa Belanda yang baru di-create oleh Voice of Indonesia. Dan kali ini hadir dalam satu program yang memang ini merupakan program rutin yang diselenggarakan oleh Voice of Indonesia secara nanti adalah Diplomatic Forum.
And the Service Voice of Indonesia has 9 language services, and the latest one, or the newest one, is the Dutch language service. And today, we meet in a routine event held by the Service Voice of Indonesia, the Diplomatic Forum.
Topik kali ini, tajuk kali ini adalah literasi in the digital world. Ini menjadi penting karena di dalam dunia penyiaran belakangan ini itu bukan hanya RRI melakukan siaran-siaran yang lebih bersifat terestrial, tapi RRI telah memasuki sudah sejak lama dalam konteks konvergensi media.
Today's topic is literacy in the digital world, the opportunities and challenges. Why we choose that? Because in the broadcasting world, the RRI is not only joining the terrestrial broadcast, but also joining the media convergence.
Tugas daripada Voice of Indonesia adalah radio penyiaran Indonesia yang diperuntukkan untuk masyarakat di luar negeri. Fungsi yang pertama adalah menjalankan tugas diplomasi negara agar budaya-budaya Indonesia bisa dikenal di seluruh dunia dan mampu memperkenalkan Indonesia menjadi negara yang bermartabat di dunia, negara merdeka yang mampu hidup bersama berdampingan dengan masyarakat dunia.
RRI would service Voice of Indonesia. It broadcasts to service the people outside of Indonesia and in the globe, which its first or the main duty is to make the brand or the image of Indonesia as good as possible, which has so many good things, and also living in harmony, and also to present its dignity to the world.
Ada dua hal yang penting dalam digitalisasi di dunia belakangan ini. Yang pertama adalah digitalisasi radio terestrial, di mana siaran-siaran yang dilakukan oleh RRI sejak zaman Indonesia merdeka ini sampai sekarang, RRI masih bermain dengan radio terestrial. Lalu dikenallah dengan digitalisasi terestrial, dan belakangan RRI selama kurang lebih sekitar 6 tahun ini telah melakukan uji coba digital audio broadcasting.
So far in RRI, we have been carrying out several types of broadcasts. For example, the terrestrial one, and recently we also have the digitalized of the terrestrial. And in the last 6 years, we have also tried the digital broadcast.
Ada digitalisasi lain yang berkembang di seluruh masyarakat dunia adalah digitalisasi yang berkembang di media sosial. Apakah itu streaming, apakah itu media sosial lainnya, YouTube, kemudian WhatsApp dan sebagainya. Ini adalah sebuah improvement yang dilakukan oleh masyarakat dunia di dalam teknologi akibat daripada perkembangan digitalisasi yang begitu dasar, dan ini memberikan kemerdekaan kepada semua masyarakat dunia untuk apa saja menggunakan media ini apa yang mereka mau.
Currently, there has been a very great development of the use of the digital media in Indonesia and also in the world. For example, through the applications like YouTube, WhatsApp, and also online streaming, which is the result of the great independence of the people in using the media.
Generasi ini adalah generasi yang sangat dahsyat sehingga setiap orang, setiap masyarakat itu bisa memanfaatkan frekuensi, bisa memanfaatkan website yang dibentuk oleh media itu sendiri sebebas-bebasnya.
This generation has been used amazingly by the people so that they can access the frequency, website, and many others as free as possible.
Sehingga masyarakat secara bersama dapat memainkan perannya secara sendiri, apa mau mereka, apa yang mereka inginkan, dan mereka bermain seenaknya sendiri di dalam domain yang diberikan, di dalam wilayah yang diberikan, dan di dalam frekuensi yang diberikan.
So that the people can really use as they like in the domain that has been provided.
Terima kasih kepada Pak Dev Laksono, anggota Komisi 1 kita yang hadir. Kita bisa lanjutkan. Di zaman digitalisasi yang begitu dahsyat ini, karena media hanya memberikan ruang dengan apa yang dikatakan media 3.0, radio 3.0 dan sebagainya, sehingga masyarakat itu bisa bebas menggunakan itu, maka ada banyak memberikan keuntungan atau manfaat kepada masyarakat, tetapi di samping itu dapat memberikan sesuatu yang buruk kepada masyarakat hanya dalam keadaan sedetik, send atau klik.
In this very great development, the media with the 3.0 media make the people can use it very freely, so that there will be advantages. But also, on the other hand, there have been so many negative impacts that can happen only in 1 second by clicking send.
Jadi pikiran sekarang masyarakat diberi kebebasan, independensi yang sangat luar biasa, tetapi kemudian pengaruhnya juga, apakah masyarakat itu bisa memburukkan dunia, atau bisa mengindahkan dunia, atau membuat cakrawala di dunia ini, itu bergantung kepada pengguna masyarakat itu sendiri. Sampailah kepada titik di mana informasi itu bisa menjadi jenuh dengan apa yang dikatakan dengan hoax.
The current development can cause people, well, first, the people can have the freedom to use the media, but on the other hand, the main question is, will the people make the world better, or will make it worse? Because in the end, it can create the hoaxes.
Disitulah sebenarnya peran Radio Republik Indonesia sebagai lembaga penyiaran publik, sebagai lembaga negara yang memiliki keberpihakan terhadap negara, harus memberikan sesuatu yang terbaik untuk masyarakat dunia, tidak terkecuali masyarakat Indonesia yang mengenal kesantunan, yang mengenal keperadaban, dan ingin menunjukkan kepada dunia bahwa Indonesia adalah yang terbaik, masyarakat yang bijak, masyarakat yang mampu melakukan yang terbaik untuk dunia itu sendiri.
The point is, one of its development is to give people service, giving good things, and showing that how the model is, and also to show how good Indonesia is.
Maka siaran-siaran Radio Republik Indonesia pada saat era konvergensi itu ada hal yang penting, dan itu merupakan garis daripada manajemen RRI untuk Indonesia dan untuk masyarakat dunia. Ada 3 hal yang penting siaran di RRI. Yang pertama, RRI harus menggunakan filosofi jurnalisme damai.
Our broadcast in the convergence media era is very important, and the duty of our management and our people is to provide the peaceful journalism.
Jurnalisme damai adalah bagaimana membangkitkan masyarakat itu adalah menjadi masyarakat yang selalu berdamai. Yang kedua adalah jurnalisme kemaknaan, bahwa berita-berita yang disiarkan oleh RRI itu harus menimbulkan makna yang besar. Dan yang ketiga adalah jurnalisme profetik, bahwa siaran-siaran yang disampaikan oleh RRI kepada masyarakat harus dimaknai dengan penuh kejujuran. Jurnalisme profetik itu adalah jurnalisme kenabian. Ini 3 hal penting yang harus dilakukan oleh Radio Republik Indonesia agar masyarakat itu damai, masyarakat itu mendapatkan makna besar dari siaran-siaran RRI, dan masyarakat mampu memberikan kejujuran lewat berita-berita Radio Republik Indonesia.
The peaceful journalism means creating or invoking the peaceful people. And second point is giving meaningful information and also meaningful broadcast, so that the people can get a lot of meetings, important meetings. And the last one is the quality journalism, in which we are trying to make the people to create good interpretations of the things. So the things that we have to do in NIV is to create peaceful information, meaningful information, and also honest journalism.
Oleh karena itu yang terakhir saya ingin sampaikan di dalam forum diplomatik siaran ini adalah Indonesia harus hadir di dunia. Bukan hanya Indonesia hadir di dalam negerinya sendiri. Di saat yang seperti itu, peran Radio Republik Indonesia menjadi sangat penting untuk menjalankan fungsi diplomasi negara dalam konteks siaran itu. Oleh karena itu, kehadiran Radio Republik Indonesia bukan hanya hadir di Indonesia, tapi hadir di seluruh dunia untuk memberikan perdamaian dunia, untuk memberikan dukungan yang sebesar-besarnya kepada masyarakat dunia tanpa hoax.
Therefore, Indonesia must be present not only in Indonesia, but also for the whole world. And our role is very important. The role of NRI is very important for the nation diplomacy, not only in Indonesia, but also in the world, so that it can create and also to vanish the hoaxes.
Terima kasih. Terakhir saya ucapkan selamat dan salam bahagia untuk semua. Selamat berdiskusi dalam forum diplomatik Voice of Indonesia. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Bangkitlah, dan kita bersama dalam kedamaian. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much for
Bapak Anand Wijayakasi. And once again, it will discuss the matters regarding literacy in the digital world, challenges and opportunities. And we also invite your participation to join our dialogue by presenting your questions directly to our speakers. And for the sake of convenience, we need to ask you to set your cell phones into the silent mode. And now, I would like to invite Ibu Anand Wijayakasi, the host of today's Diplomatic Forum, to start our program.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and today our diplomatic forum is going to discuss about literacy in a digital world, challenges and opportunities. And here today, we already have our speakers, and I would like to introduce our speakers for today, one by one, and I would like to invite you to stand up so the audience can see you. So first of all is member of Commission 1 of House of Representatives, Mr. Dave Ambaksa Picarno. Oh, would you please stand up so audience can see you. Thank you. And next is His Excellency Mr. Peter MacArthur, the Canadian Ambassador to Indonesia. And the third is Director of UNESCO Office Jakarta, Professor Syahbaz Khan. And the next is Head of Strategic Development and Language Diplomacy of Indonesian Language Center, Professor Emi Emilia. And Commissioner of Indonesian Broadcasting Commission, Mr. Oksata Sinaga. And last but not least is Initiator of Gerakan Bijak Bersosmed Movement, Mr. Ridawan Adir Ardiwinata. Thank you very much, gentlemen and Ibu. So this diplomatic forum is broadcast live from Yusuf Ronodipuro Auditorium and can be accessed through live streaming at English at rriworldservice.com and YouTube Voice Indonesia. You can join this program by sending your comments or questions to our Facebook fan page, Voice of Indonesia, and Twitter at Voice Indonesia. And before we start our discussion, let's listen to Vox Pops and Pearl on literacy and digital literacy presented by Aning Pasanangkawaro.
Kamu tahu gak sih tentang literasi itu apa? Apa? Literasi. Literasi. Nggak tahu. Aku nggak tahu. Nggak tahu. Literasi apa ya? Kalau digital literasi? Digitalnya tahu. Digitalnya kan kayak apa sih media-media digital gitu doang. Udah tahu itu doang.
Digital literasi itu sebetulnya berhubungan dengan bagaimana masyarakat memandang informasi yang bergerak di era digital. Era digital ini berhubungan dengan informasi yang tersebar dalam berbagai media, bukan hanya media cetak ya, tetapi berhubungan juga dengan media yang berhubungan dengan internet, informasi-informasi yang tersedia melalui sosial media dan lain-lain. Pikir sih begitu.
Literacy plays an important role in people's lives. The history of human civilization proves that a great nation is a nation whose society has a high interest in reading. No wonder that in developed countries, people usually love to read. Even reading has become part of their lifestyle and culture. Canada is one example of a developed country with a high level of literacy. Meanwhile, reading interests in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, which are developing countries, are generally still low. Indonesia is one of countries whose reading interest is still low. The culture of reading or literacy among Indonesian society is still very low. However, on the other hand, the challenge becomes even greater and leads to pessimism. One of the concerns that arise is the declining culture of reading among Indonesian people, which is still in low level. Moreover, with the development of various social media, increasingly loved by all circles of society, with massive but sometimes misleading information circulation.
coming that Indonesian people are nowadays illiterate, but they don't like reading books, they like read social media or digital reading. So I think in our first segment of Diplomatic Forum today, we are going to get information about literacy in digital world challenges and opportunities. And I think the first question should be asked to Bapak Div Syafiqano from the House, because anything in Indonesia, I think we should have the basic of law on it. So, Pak Div, law on book system was passed on April 2017, right? What are the benefits of the book system law? I mean, is the law able to encourage the growth of literacy society in this digital era?
Thank you so much for the opportunity to invite me here and to pose such an important question. Your Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, and from the UNESCO. Yes, I remember that part, the UN, and Pak Ridwan, and the honorable members of the RRI family and society. We are facing with the great problems right now. Which is the lack of desire to read, which can lead to a lack of studying, which can lead into simply laziness, which means people will just absorb whatever information that is being shoved into their minds without any kind of attempts on to pick which one is correct, which one is true, which one is false, which leads to the problems in our society, which is called famously or infamously is called hoax media. I just studying some research just before I came here, and today in society, in my constituent, the rise of social media users have increased 3 times from what it was in 2013. I did a research in my constituent, which is the Kabupaten Cirebon. At the time, in 2013, 2014, the use of social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is lingering around just underneath 10%. And now, today, it is over 30%. So there's been a threefold increase in the social media users. And these users are not 100% digital literate. Means, what I mean by digital literate is that they just accept whatever information that is shown on their timeline, and they just want something that is tempting for them, or something that's causing rowdiness. Yeah? They would just, without hesitation, and broadcast it out into their friends and families. And it goes on and on and on, and it creates problems. And it's such movement, it's what caused the riots in the Middle East, it's what caused riots in some countries, and such thing, it can turn from civil society into a problem in the society, and it could cause a disruption in your own in your society. And see, this is some of the things that the government is facing, and what us in the parliament, we have created laws in addition to the Undang-Undang Perbukuan, the laws on books that would force the printers, that would force the government to create good quality and cheap book accessible to everyone. But we also create the Undang-Undang IDE, the Information and Technology, which also prohibits people to forwarding information which is not true, which also prohibits people from spreading out news that would create blasphemy, so to speak. Yes. So such law has been in place, but what more important is that the Indonesian society, the Indonesian people, they have to know which one is good and bad. They have to understand that they have to be implemented in their mind and body is what we call kearifan nasional. I don't know what's the direct translation in English. Maybe the best can help me. Local wisdom, yeah. So local wisdom, to implement the local wisdom in the societies, in starting from early age, so that in the future, Indonesian people would not be so easily aggravated by such fake news, such hoax news. And they would know better not to insult people. They would know better not to defamation. They would not condemn. They would not do act of defamation to anyone or to any society just because of some fake news that they receive in their timeline in their social media.
Okay, thank you, Pak. So whether it's book or it's the digital media, you still need to read first. So literacy is something very important, of course. Even though I don't believe that in Indonesia we have that kind of problem anymore, but there is something special about this in Canada. So the next question is really to conducted by the Central Connecticut State University on world's most literate nations. Put your country in a group of countries with high literacy rates. So what's your comment?
Well, first let me thank RRE, the Voice of Indonesia, for organizing this diplomatic forum on digital media. Pleased to be here. I've grown up with Canadian Broadcasting Corporation Radio, a big fan. I know RRE is a brother or sister of CBC, and internet radio is a new thing, which I'm really excited about. Just on literacy in Canada, indeed, if you define literacy as the ability to read, to write, and to understand at the level of at least grade 10, yes, indeed, we're doing quite well in Canada. The mastery of language is important, of course, as is cognitive skills, reasoning skills, critical thought, as has just been pointed out, but also the ability to manipulate alphabets and grammar and so forth. So we're doing quite well there. I should point out we have challenges in Canada, of course. About 20% of our population is foreign-born. We have English and French, so there are two national languages, but the third biggest language is Mandarin. Tagalog is our fastest growing language. So the ability to integrate our immigrants, we do take almost 1% of our population a year as immigrants. Doesn't affect our ability to generate literacy. But our school boards, our high schools, our universities and colleges are playing a key role. We're a very decentralized country like Indonesia, and so we have no national curriculum. There's a coordination amongst provinces and territories, and what we're trying to do is fight the digital divide through improved literacy. I'm happy to say that traditionally women have been behind on literacy, but today, in 2017 in Canada, women learn languages faster and score higher than their male counterparts. And this has helped empower from a gender perspective. It also increases nationally our productivity, our competitiveness as a society economically, getting ready for the fourth industrial revolution, the digital economy, the information age. Knowledge workers need to be more and more literate, and not just in one language, but in multiple languages. And that's where bilingualism in Canada comes into play, and more our young people have a third language because we're so multicultural. What the government is doing is we have 27th of January every year in Canada. It's what we call Family Reading Day. So family gets together and reads together on that day, Harry Potter style, to encourage love of books, magazines, newspapers, and this has had a good effect.
Social media.
Yes.
It's just books.
These are books. I'll get to that in a future question, how that's important as a foundation for the digital media. But of course, visual literacy and computer literacy is the new way. And therefore, the ability to manipulate symbols, patterns, and coding. Coding is now a high school class in many of our schools. Computer coding is the new way in our education systems. You mentioned our education system. It is very strong. We take 200,000 international students a year in Canada, 1,300 from Indonesia. They're attracted by our high-quality universities and colleges, including technical colleges. And I'm happy to say that on October 7th in Surabaya and October 8th in Jakarta, there'll be a Canadian education fair where Indonesians can look at possibilities to study in Canada and take advantage of these opportunities. And in Jakarta, the Indonesian Minister of Women's Empowerment and Children, Ministry EDISI, will talk about her time at Simon Fraser University as a graduate of Canadian University herself. So that's the view of literacy in Canada. We are doing well, but we're always looking to improve.
Thank Okay, so that is in Canada. Now let's go to Indonesia then. Next question is to Commissioner of Indonesian Broadcasting Commission, Mr. Osaka Senaga. So 66%, less than 20% of Indonesian children have reading interest, while those who have interest in watching reach 91.67%. So why doesn't watching television support children's literacy?
Okay, my honor for all of you, especially for Mr. Del is a household representative. Why doesn't watching television children literacy skill? Literacy, it's how to make everybody aware to anything in order to defend themselves from the negative influence, especially causing environment life system. But that's mean everybody has to cover themselves with the knowledge, with his experience, and his culture, to make sure that everybody can select anything he saw, anything he watch, and anything listening. Watching the television for children usually make our child will choose the program what they all should like very much. For example, they are enough in literacy because children will choose a program that make for his atmosphere as looks like a children program. And then there's not enough literacy programs stay in the children that our child like very much. According to the result of the survey by Nielsen, with the Power Survey Institution for Broadcasting Indonesia, the program institution broadcasting is divided into how the rank of largest people watching the program. That's why advertising side will follow the various program. So it's caused why the literacy for children is not workable, and why the television channel which our children like it very much is not substance with the mass literacy. Besides that, the broadcasting content is not supporting children reading interest maximized. And then, especially in the digital television industry, our children now stay in different generation, which the barriers in getting. It makes the trigger to reduce reading interest too. Let me to add that the regulation of the legal products that we have additional, and then contents of broadcasting is not maximized. It's especially in digital because the trigger the lack interest of the reading children. Therefore, the need fresh children-friendly content, so there is no able to media literacy, but also support interest of reading children with their digital capabilities. That's all.
Okay, well, I think it's something to be lamented. I mean, I'm very sorry that our children's reading habit or reading interest is not as much as their interest in watching TV. But, well, that's technology, I suppose. You can't avoid it anymore. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue our discussion after the break. So here is.
This diplomatic forum is continuing in all service Voice of Indonesia.
Fundamental changes. Now, we are in a transitional position, not only in developing countries and big cities, but also in remote villages.
President's statement about the digital literacy. And so welcome back to our diplomatic forum, and we are still discussing a topic on literacy in a digital world, challenges and opportunities. I think my next question will be to Ibu Emil, Head of Strategic Development and Language Diplomacy of Language Center, Professor Emilia. And so Ibu, in October 2016, for the first time, the Language Agency had what is called Literacy Festival in Palu. So what is exactly the festival like?
So the festival is actually one of the activities conducted in the framework of national literacy movement that is conducted by the Ministry of Education and Culture, and the Language Agency is coordinator of the language literacy, national literacy movement. So under this movement, there are so many activities conducted by all main units in the ministry, including the Directorate General of Basic and Secondary Education, Directorate General of Teachers and Education Personnel, and also Directorate General of Culture, and also the Language Agency. And in this festival, so there are so many activities, and this is also the activity where we can show all the results of all activities that have been conducted by all units in the Ministry of Education. And regarding the national literacy movement, actually we have upheld the foundational literacies, including the literacy itself, and numeracy, scientific literacy, digital literacy, financial literacy, and cultural and civic literacy. So, and the aims of this movement, and it is also it also includes the festival literacy, to build a culture of literacy among Indonesian society and to prepare for Indonesia's golden generation 2045, and to strengthen character education, to revitalize and strengthen the capacity of education ecosystem, and to perpetuate Indonesian culture. And there are also some principles, and we also have set up the roadmap from 2015-16 up to 2020. So we have set up the plan, what we have to do, and also what we have done. And each unit in each Directorate General or main unit has its own main activities also regarding this literacy. And we have some activities for community literacy. For example, we have set up some literacy kampung literacy, and also we have set up hundreds of kampung literacy. So in the community literacy, we have literacy kampung 42 kampung literacy.
In Java or outside Java?
In different provinces in Indonesia. And also we have set up, or we have created Indonesia Reading Movement, and this has been done in 18 districts and cities in Indonesia, and the activities include publication, action and appreciation, and book donation and book launches. And then in family literacy movement, we also have conducted family literacy movement, and in this movement we include publication of books on for parents, and also books to read by children. And this has been conducted in 160 districts or cities, so there are so many activities. And being a great parent series, so we have created books on how to be great parents and to do with literacy especially. And one teacher, one book, and in this activity, every teacher should create one book. And
excuse me, what do you mean by create? Writing a book?
Yes, writing a book.
Oh, every teacher
must be able to write a program. And now, every teacher. And this is aimed to enhance the teacher literacy competence. So if teacher teaches students how to read and how to write, what happens if he or she, him or herself doesn't write and doesn't read? So if teacher can write, it means he also must have read something, yeah? And then we also do some symposium on creative writing, of course, for teachers, and also we enhance the teachers' academic writing capacity, and teacher trainer writing movement, and best practice appreciation, and nation literacy movement, which is conducted by the language agency, and this includes the provision of reading materials. And this year, the language agency has produced about 175 books that can be read by children, and these are mostly about local culture and local stories from Indonesia, from different
It's not school material.
No. This is stories from different ethnic groups in Indonesia. So these are all activities conducted by the ministry. And in cultural literacy movement, we also do exhibition of cultural heritage and also books on character. So we have the Director General of Culture has created books, and also they also do printing on Keraton Agung and review of a book on context, knowledge, and expression of traditional culture. So the Director General of Culture has also done a lot about literacy movement, and so we have done so many activities to do with literacy. But of course, we have some challenges, and these challenges include the availability of literacy materials and also prints. And some teachers also believe that if we do literacy, we always have to do with books, but literacy is not always actually to do with books. We can do literacy anywhere, anytime. So we can say to the teachers that they can teach students literacy anywhere. For example, when they read announcement, when they read traffic lights, traffic signs, so we can teach students literacy. And also from home, some parents also still do not believe that literacy should come from home to school, not from school to home. So literacy should start from home, and therefore we also involve family in our program, in our literacy movement. Probably that's all that I can talk.
One thing that I would like to ask you, so you were talking about literacy in Indonesia. You didn't even talk about digital literacy. Do we still have problems in literacy? Because some people will think that literacy, general literacy, that people cannot read or write is in the past. But do we still have that problem? In Indonesia?
Yes, of course, we still have problems, because digital literacy is now what we are, not we live with.
Yes.
But we still remember that there are still many people who do not want to read. So what they read. So actually, about literacy is not is not something that all people in Indonesia are familiar with. So we still have to do with, we still struggle to build the people's capacity to read and to write, because although we live in a digital era, and then if they do not have the basic capacity to read and to write, for example, how to read fast, how to write well, and although we have iPad, we have expensive headphones or computers, for example, if we do not, if we do not know how to do it, so it is in vain. And therefore, what we have to build is our basic competence that we can also use, we can apply, we can use and can enjoy, and also with literacy, we can also become the agent of change, and including we can also actor of in the digital era. That is why one of the aims of the literacy movement is to prepare for our community to be the golden agent in 2045, for example, of our students to be the golden agents in 2045, and to strengthen the capacity of the literacy of the students and also the community. But we need to remember that we need to work together, and will involve so many stakeholders and parties, and to help us to succeed this program, because this program cannot be done only by the Ministry of Education, and this should be done under the cooperation of community, of parents, of schools, and also of authorities and different authorities, different ministries, and also different institutions and top leaders. Yes. For example, to enact a law on literacy or related to literacy, so we need help from many people. And to succeed in the literacy movement, we need parents, we need literacy activists, we need publishers, we need probably you from broadcasting, and also from the House of Representatives, for example, in creating the law, and so from RRI also to promote our program.
Yes.
So yeah.
Of course, we will agree with you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we also have a representative of the Ministry of Communication and Informatics, that is Bapak Nuriza, who is head of. What you would like to know the opinion of the Ministry of Communication. So, what is the government program to improve literacy culture in this country?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Directly, I would like to convey my speech here. Actually, the internet is just a digital world. Will provide outcome, whether this is opportunities or challenges. Will this provide positive outcomes or negative impacts? Yeah. Governments also together with the General Assembly or the DPR, and also government, not only the Ministry of ICT but also the coordinating Ministry of Economics, economic creative body, and amongst other ministries and institutions in Indonesia, and also other stakeholders. We are currently under how to speed up digital in Indonesia, because the future of economy, the future of young generation is in the digital economy, and also how to deliver digitalization in Indonesia in any life in our society. The first things that I would like to share is also that because in Indonesia we have a bonus demography, we have more than 70 million young generation in Indonesia. They wait what they should do within 5 years next. Therefore, digital economy is the opportunity, the only opportunity. The first thing is that very young generation need opportunity for their future jobs and business. My minister, Bapak Rudiantara, the Minister of ICT, I mean, not my minister, yeah. Bapak Rudiantara mentioned we need to provide platform digitalization process for young generation, because our young generation now is the dominant in our demography. We need to provide them opportunity for their future. The first things, there are 3 things that we need to come out. The first thing is sharing economy. The second thing is workforce digitalization. Sharing economy meaning that in our economy, young generation, any individual should have opportunity to get involved in the economy, to get opportunity to get job. They can to be enter a job, or they can be a businessman, even though in a small way, or in a SME, small medium enterprises. The second thing is workforce digitalization. With digitalization, the impact of digitalization, we can see in the future, so many sectors also will, the workforce can also decrease, yeah. The tenaga kerja akan semakin menurun anak-anak muda. But however, digital economy will bring opportunity for another jobs and new job. We should create this from the beginning. we should prepare this from the beginning. We don't need to be late in our preparation to be into digital. Therefore, we need to enter workforce digitalization. We need to facilitate also the digital economy using financial inclusion, because using this financial inclusion, digitalization and digital economy, we can deliver into any level in our society. My minister, Bapak Rudiantara, already speak about this thing, three things in G20, and also we prepare how to bring our digital economy into the future. My president, Bapak Jokowi, already mentioned, we need Indonesia to be the digital energy of Asia. We need Indonesia to be the biggest digital economy in Southeast Asia. Therefore, Bapak Rudiantara mentioned we can deliver what Bapak Jokowi vision by two things. The first thing is the market of digital economy or e-commerce will become huge in the future. $130 billion in 2020. We need to prepare early as possible our SMEs to enter this business, and also the young generation into the e-commerce. This is very important. The second thing, for the technology side, government should prepare and should establish young generation enter into startup. We need to prepare the digital technology literacy. They need to create their own innovation, their own creative. We have the program 1,000 Startup Digital Indonesia. Not only that, we need to create not only startup, but also how to bring next Indonesia unicorns. We started last week. We collect a startup, very potential startup, to get to bring into unicorn level. Yeah, we invite any possibility and any possibility investor globally or locally to see our potential startup. Yeah, we have done this last week, and also next week we will also present our startup into another foreign investors. Yeah, probably in the US and also in Korea. Next week we will offer this. With regard to the positive, also we have negative impacts. Bapak Rudiantara, the Ministry of ICT, already makes so many action actually. Some action already mentioned in this forum diplomatic last month, I think, or in April. And the last things that I would share also, Bapak Rudiantara visited many stakeholders in our society, especially from the religious stakeholders. Bapak Rudiantara visited di Nahdlatul Ulama and Muhammadiyah, and then Nahdlatul Ulama Muhammadiyah created a fatwa. Yeah, fatwa MUI, the Muamalah Medsosial. The MUI created a fatwa Muamalah Medsosial. Bapak Rudiantara also coming into the Persatuan Gereja Indonesia from Christian and Catholic and also Buddhist and other religion in Indonesia, and we address this stakeholder to bring our society into a positive way. So the negative impact from the internet we can avoid, and people will learn that in internet there is negative information content that people should be aware. That not all information in the internet is good, but we need all people understand that the internet, so many bad information, so many wrong information, as mentioned by Pak Tif. That's all my speech and presentation. Thank you very much.
However, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue our discussion, we have a surprise for you. Next, we are going to call a little girl. Her name is Awafta Hilzi Sodik, or known as Zizi. She was born on May 29, 2008. Actually, when she was born, she was prematurely born with only 900 grams. ROV stage 1, which is vanished due to premature birth. However, she is a pianist, a great pianist, and has also sang on July the 30th this year and received scholarship for piano from Medical Energy and vocal from EDISI, Mitra Younger. And recently, on September the 8th, she received an award from Marisa Cardova Foundation and Ministry of Women Empowerment and Children Protection for the Best Inspiring Survivor Outstanding Talent category. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Zizi.
This diplomatic forum is brought to you by RRI World Service Voice of Indonesia.
status, literacy is defined as something related to writing. National Institute for Literacy defines literacy as the individual's ability to read, write, speak, count, and solve problems. In the course of time, literacy is not only
50 million people, and 63% of them, unfortunately, women who are not literate. It's a very, very big population. So it's a very, very big issue. That's why the World Literacy Day is very important. And in that regard, UNESCO has special programs. United Nations has the Sustainable Development Goals. The goal number 4.6 is about literacy, which links with adult and youth both. So now come back to the question, how do we measure that the digital literacy is being achieved and whether it is in the right direction or not? So in this world, we access information in so many ways. So whether we are accessing the information in the best possible way, that's number one. Or whether the technology is right, whether the access is right. Do we assimilate the information in the right way? And thirdly, how do it link with the life learning? Life learning, qualities of life, the culture which is mentioned. Very importantly, also people with disabilities. Are they eligible to access information the way it needs to be accessed? So all of that actually matters in the context of having equality from gender, from disabilities, as well as making sure the people who have been left out for too long, they have been brought in. So for that, there are indicators, and those indicators are linking with lifelong learning, improving the socio-economic conditions. Also, whether the people who are teaching in schools, whether they have the right information, they are able to link with ICTs properly or not. That's why UNESCO has a special initiative which is about media and information literacy. We produce special kind of guides for teachers. We also have the guidance for the media as well. How do we actually use the user-generated information for the digital literacy?
So nowadays, you also talk about e-book, for instance. So there's electronic books. How do you think the e-book can replace the continuous book updates?
This is a very debatable topic. Would the physical presence of books will disappear and will become a digital society altogether? In my view, both have their place. But from a point of view of global access, people living in Indonesia and people living in America or in Pakistan or somewhere, to be able to have same level of access for the books, I think digital books are very, very important. That's why I would like to also bring your attention to UNESCO's Global Literacy Prizes. So this year's prize, King Sejong Prize, which went to Jordan for a very special purpose, and I think it can bring many, many interesting things about digital books as well. The prize was about we love reading, and this is about digital libraries. How do you create an ownership in society that people are loving reading books, both digital and physical, and we create a social movement, a public-private partnership where people are contributing to the physical presence of books, but also making sure the digital books, especially for Indonesia, where you have an amazing culture with the amazing World Heritage sites, with the amazing intangible heritage like batik and whatnot, and how your special environment, your special respect for different faiths and religion, how do we bring that kind of information to the Ministry of Education and Culture and Hilma and others, what they do? How do we make it accessible through both the digital as well as the physical form? People still, I would still like to hold a book in my hand. But at the same time, I am so much empowered as an individual. I can access more than 50,000 books free online through Project Gutenberg, for example. UNESCO, as the United Nations Special Agency in Education, Science and Culture, Communication, Information, and Social Human Sciences, our main mandate now by 195 member states, very importantly including Indonesia, is open access. Open access to all kind of information which are useful for making this world a peaceful world, which makes you access science and culture and information and all of that. For that, digital books and the right way to access that is very, very important.
So, yes, thank you, Professor Kang. Just now you said that the United Nations have a program of media literacy on the media. So how about in Indonesia? I would like to ask from Indonesian Broadcasting Commission. So Indonesia's media literacy can be seen from people's reading interest, right? If the people's reading interest is low, then it can be ascertained that media literacy of Indonesian people is also low. So amid the incessant broadcast and information nowadays, how can media literacy provide a skill for the people to protect themselves and their families from destructive, say for instance, television show?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, but it's difficult to answer. As I said, literacy media is a program to penetrations everybody to understand sewing in TV is good or not good for himself and also for everybody else. If someday now when he saw the TV program, then he protests to KBI, to our Broadcasting Commission. So about the program, that's a simple way for KBI to warning system around the TV program. Now we have a problem, especially for our Broadcasting Commission, is we don't know that the society understand or not understand for the substance, the program in the television. We just know when they send us a letter, people protested that this program is not good for us. Example, we have Indonesian law, Indonesian law, ILC. Someday ILC have a program that the substance is make some different tradition, some different SARA issues that make Indonesian people will be to miss for it. So because that our KBI make a warning to the TV program, so then they stop it for three weeks, but the decision to make a stop it to 3 months about it. That's what is the KPI for the past 3 years established? We have a P3 SPS schools. This is the activities of the public and media crew, as well as talent, with the expectation that its broadcasting institution, through its team, can sort out the first impression in accordance with P3 SPSR. That's it.
Okay, so I think what really need is that as done. So Bapak gerakan hashtag bijak bersosmed. My question is, what is the background of the word of bijak bersosmed movement?
Thank you very much. First of all,